everybody, thank you for joining me today. This is the first installment of the BER Month Baking recipes. So for September 2025, we are going to kick off this baking with apples. My son and I went to an apple orchard today and we picked out the most beautiful Premier Honey Crisps, and I just can't wait to throw these into the apple fritter. That's right, you heard me. A classic, a staple. Everybody loves them and they're not that hard to make. We're going to be doing a baked version of the apple fritter, which is a little bit healthier for you, but don't worry, I'm not afraid of tossing a little bit of extra sugar and drizzle on mine.
Oh yeah.
So you'll get to enjoy it. I'm sure your family will love it. Come along and help me in getting through this first video. It's my first time apple picking, by the way, because I thought I was allergic to apples for the longest time. It's just birch and alder trees, which I guess the pollen, something to do with raw apples. It's just an oral itch. But yeah, I've never been apple picking that I remember, so this is really exciting. And since I've been on Zyrtec for like 2.5 weeks now, I think we're good. We'll check in later. Can I help you? Did you find your first apple? Let me see this one. Oh, this is beautiful. Good job. Okay, ty trzymaj. Chcesz trzymać worek, czy chcesz brać jabłka? Which one?
Bardzo jabłka.
Jabłka? Sam weźmiesz rączkami. Put this one down. Ready? Szukamy tutaj apple. Wait, let's see. There's a big one right here. Are you gonna get it? Turn, twist. Musisz twist zrobić. Twist like this. Widzisz? Twist it, twist it. Wkładaj. Good job. Tu spadło. Tam. Proszę. It is so big. It's going to be a good juicy one. Without further ado, let's get to the ingredients list. Alright, so for tonight's recipe, we're going to be using 2 cups of diced apples. Granny Smith or Honey Crisp are the recommended flavors of apples, but you can use any that you have on hand. Then we'll also need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, plus 2 extra tablespoons for coating, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and an extra ½ teaspoon for dusting, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 cup of milk. You can use either dairy milk or plant-based milk, 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of melted butter or coconut oil, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This would be a great time to go ahead and preheat your ovens. So the recipe calls for 375 preheated. Let's see if I can get it on the first shot. I can only turn it on when I have complete silence. It's an intuitive thing. We'll go ahead and start working on the apples, and then we'll put it all together. Alrighty, and now for the star of the show, we have our apples. We decided to go with the Honey Crisps. We like to travel to Oswego to go to Keller's farm. Just make sure that when you pick your apples that you go ahead and give them a good wash. I know we'll be peeling, but that's probably the rule of thumb when you're baking and cooking. is wash, 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 especially if you're making this for someone else. Please wash your hands, please wash your fruits, please wash your utensils. I can't stress that enough. Okay, so once I've given these a good rinse, I'm going to go ahead and peel them, and then I'll go ahead and cube them for the recipe. I'll let you know how many apples that is, but keep in mind that's pretty subjective given the change in size of apple here. And let's give it one more apple. Of course, I'm secretly hoping. Fritters are very common baked goods. This is my first time baking them. But this is also my first time baking or cooking on camera. So I'm constantly looking up to see if I've got enough in the frame. That's why I went with a smaller cutting board, to make sure that all this is visible to you guys. Oh, what a nice sound. That's going to be a good apple there. I guess the safest way to go ahead and cut in a fruit or vegetable or anything when you're using sharp knives is to curl your fingers in. Not that this is an educational video for kitchen safety, but may as well mention it while we're doing it, especially since I had to correct myself there. What bloody fun that would have been, huh? Not that this is live, but... Alright, I'm going to go ahead. I like to overfill, but let's keep that at our 1. So I've gone ahead and dump that into another bowl. I think we're going to get to 2 cups real fast here, so... Oh my, I way overestimated how many apples. So I think 2 medium-sized apples, or maybe a large and a medium apple, should suffice for this recipe. Do not grab towards the knife like I do. Oh my goodness, this is 1 apple. I didn't have 2 cups out of just 1 apple. That's crazy talk. And those are not chopped silver slices. Sorry, I've been cutting so much apple lately for my son. I'm just in the habit of prepping it as if it's for him. And I swear, if this kid wakes up and comes out here, he's already mulling around in bed. Okay, so believe it or not, this is 2 cups, everybody. So I guess let's go ahead and stick with what the recipe calls for. I'm going to have a nice little midnight snack here because it's 6 minutes coming up until midnight. Oh my god, you guys. So no, in no way is this a sponsorship for Keller's Farm Stand in Oswego, Illinois, but please do pay them a visit. They're lovely people, and their apples are delicious. Delicious. They have a lot of fun stuff happen over the weekends. We just wanted to go there during the week so that we beat the hustle and bustle. And wow, that was worth it. Okay, so before all of our ingredients die on the pass here, I'm going to go ahead and prep the parchment paper. Parchment paper prepped for the time being. Again, I promise my hands are clean. And let's go back and mix the ingredients. Alright, and to add to today's decor and aesthetic, I have a Mommy and Me spoon set. They were not purchased together. I think one was from Michael's and the other one was from Home Goods, quite possibly several years ago. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to combine our wet ingredients and our dry ingredients. So Then we will combine the two until they're just mixed. You don't want to overmix this, and then you'll fold in the apples last. I'm going to whisk, which I have a whisk. As far as our wet and dry ingredients go, I'm just going to keep rolling with our soup bowls, cereal bowls, and I'm going to go ahead and mix all the wet ingredients together. So with our wet ingredients, that includes our milk. Gosh, it is nice to have that pre-prepped. Our egg, and I just went ahead and used my 4th cup, even though it's not, well, it almost came out to a 4th cup, so there you go. Then we've got our melted butter, and lastly our vanilla. And although I am one that follows a recipe to the T, the vanilla is something that I eyeball every time. I want to say 1 tablespoon. So, well, a little bit more for good measure. So we're going to go ahead and give that one a good mixing. Let me get my spoon out. We'll go ahead and get these. I should probably use the fork for that egg, but there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and thoroughly mix the wet and dry ingredients when they're separated, but then lightly mix them when I'm putting those two together. Okay. So there we have our wet. For our dry, I'm going to use the big bowl because that's where everything's going to end up. So we have our flour first. Then we have our sugar. Then we have our, without knocking anything over here, our baking powder. Then we have our cinnamon. Once again, do my best not to nutmeg and salt, and I don't believe that I had salt listed on here before, so I apologize. Let me just scroll back up and find out how much salt we need, because we definitely use unsalted butter. Oh, that nutmeg though, that smells really, really good. You know, they don't even say salt in the recipe, so let's just add a pinch of salt. So this is what I mean. This is what I'm going to add, just to kind of lock in, seal in that flavor. If there needs to be more, then we'll figure it out on the next run. Oh my gosh, if that nutmeg smell doesn't wake up this house, that smells good. Just amazing. All right, so I'm going to make sure that my apples are ready to go. I believe that I did need to coat a little bit of cinnamon in there. So half a teaspoon, although this one says 1 teaspoon. Hopefully we're not talking about the same amount of cinnamon. So let's go ahead and follow what they're saying. Can you see that in frame? Toss, set aside. So once we have our wet and our dry ingredients, we're going to go ahead and combine those until they are just mixed. So let's use this guy here. I think we're starting to get there here. Again, I don't want to over mix these. I'm already starting to feel like some of this is getting over mixed. So we're gonna stop right there. Just cut that down. There we go. And now we're going to fold in the apples. Anybody watch Schitt's Creek? Come on, guys. There we go. Now everybody's here. All right, anybody in the comments want to tell me how you fold in cheese? How about my sister-in-law? Can you tell me how to fold in cheese? So the texture when you're kind of folding these in, it's not that easy, not that obvious. I guess it's a little dense. Okay, but I would call that good right there. So now we're going to go ahead and drop, it's asking for 1/4 cup portions. We're not going to go ahead and use one of the cauldron mixing cups. I do have another mixing cup available. And so we're going to get 1/4 cup portions of the batter onto the baking sheet, and we're going to flatten those just a hair. And then we're going to bake them at 15 to 18 minutes until they're golden. And there is an extra step if you guys want to go the extra mile. You can broil them for an extra 1 or 2 minutes for some with a touch of crispiness, which is something I will try doing. So let's get you over to the stove. And again, if you're going to be using your hands, please make sure they're clean. Okay, so and don't worry about it looking pretty. These are meant to be a little more on the clumpy side. Okay, this is not meant to look pretty. What's important is how it tastes, am I right? So go ahead and flatten them at the tail end. Nice out. As far as how many you should come out to in the photo, and if I am allowed to attach it, I will go ahead and attach it here, but it looks like there's way more than I'm probably going to get out of this, which is a usual finding for me. But I might have overdone the apples. I was so excited about these yummy apples that I might have put too many in here because there's not as much batter, but who knows? I think it'll still turn out really good. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly how many pieces you could expect, but it does say that it makes 8 to 10 servings. It does not specify what they deem a serving is. If you ask my husband what a serving is, it's probably gonna be this whole platter. But I imagine we'll probably end up with, you should probably end up with anywhere from 16 to 20 pieces, which I think we'll definitely get 10. I don't know how much more beyond that we'll get. And I probably could have put them a little closer together. I don't know if I was expecting them to grow a lot. And we're really getting close here. Oh my gosh. And overall, I would say that if I was to make this again, I think 30 minutes total to make this is it's a fair judgment. I think you could make this in, okay, let's say 40 minutes, just because if we had to sift that flour and that takes a minute. You know, I did see one of those finds at Marshall's a while back. That's a cute little holiday sifter. I did not, I had it in my cart, I had it in my hand, I was mulling it over, and then I changed my mind. And maybe now I know the purpose of it. I only ever used a sifter for dusting powdered sugar before, but I guess now I might be using it more often since I'm doing this baking. Alrighty, I don't think I'm gonna get another one out. I might just make somebody bigger here. This one could use a touch more. And then I think we're gonna call it good after one run. That one's kind of small, but yeah, let's just give it to this one. I want to make them all about the same size. Okay, so we've got 2, 5, another 5. Okay, so that's exactly how many we ended up with, 10. So let's see how these turn out. We're going to pop them in the oven again at 15 to 18 minutes. And once they are finished in the oven, I'll go ahead and, oh, don't forget to press them. I blabbed so much that I forgot all about pressing them. I don't want to lose some of this batter though. This is really this is some sticky business here, people. I think that's good. We're going to pop those in. Let me move the bowl. And then we will get those right inside. Okay, our oven is reading a little bit lower. So I'm going to put that up a hair. And then we will slide these in. Okay. Time to make the whole house smell amazing. Alrighty, and the time has been 15 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick peek. They are looking really, really good. They want to be a golden color, so I'm going to give it another 1 or 2 minutes before I pop those into the broiler. All right, now we're ready to pop them in the broiler. Here's what they look like, and let's go ahead and give them a nice, good crispy. Of course, they can't fit in the broiler. I don't think we're going to be able to get this one done, folks. Alright, so I will admit, when I popped my fritters out of the oven, it did not look anything like the photo shown in the recipe. So I was a little hesitant in calling this a success, but when I began to remove them off the parchment paper and I just felt how soft they were, yes, broiling them is going to give them that crispy outside, and we will definitely do that the next batch. But for the time being, let's complete the recipe as it's listed. While the fritters were in the oven doing their thing, I went ahead and prepped the final steps for us, and these are of course very optional. These are bonus. You can go ahead and indulge, give them a minute to cool down so that your stomach doesn't get upset, but these are bonus steps should you choose to proceed with the fanciness. We want to do both of the fanciness. So I went ahead and put 2 tablespoons of the granulated sugar and half a teaspoon worth of cinnamon in one bowl, mix that around, and then in another cup I went ahead and prepared half a cup of powdered sugar, and I'm going to add to that 2 tablespoons of the milk, and that'll provide our glaze. So while the fritters are still nice and warm, not hot, I said warm, you're going to want to roll them around in the sugar. So that's just kind of the coating and the topping. So I will go ahead and do that really quickly. And I might even sprinkle a little bit of the rest on top once I'm done. I already forgot where I was at. They all look the same. Same but different. Same but different. I can't wait to bite into one of these. I don't think I got this one. This is going to go so nice with a cup of coffee. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and use my last tablespoon here. And I'll go ahead and add, I've got like a full half cup of powdered sugar, so I want to make sure I get plenty of milk in here for the mixing. Okay, and I'd say that we are ready to go. Look at that. And you guys, I am no baker by any means. I am what they call a super novice. So, I know you've heard it from many people before, but it's true. If I can do it, you can do it too. Alrighty guys, well, that about does it. I've transferred them over into a new plate because I went a little overboard with the topping, but not bad aesthetically. Do they look appealing? They look a little dumpling-like, but let me let you know firsthand what they taste like by giving one a good bite. Okay. Yes. Your family's going to love these guys. Very worth it. And again, these are baked, so they're healthier, better for you. Don't worry about all the sugar I put on top of it. As the recipe calls for, a little bit of nutmeg to give it that earthiness and round it out. Being a mom of a child with a peanut allergy, a severe peanut allergy, I did look everything up beforehand to make sure that it was safe for him. I didn't think that it would be an issue, but I don't know all that much about spices. So for those of you that also have loved ones that have sensitivities or allergies to peanuts, this is a peanut safe recipe. Nutmeg is derived from a seed, and unless there is cross-contamination or there's a separate allergy to nutmeg, if it is just peanut that you're concerned with, these are on the safe list. And boy, am I glad, because this kid's just going to rip through them tomorrow morning. Alrighty guys, that'll do it. Thank you so much for joining me on this first ever BER Month Baking recipe on Spooky Stitches. You guys, I'm going to have to stop myself from having any more because we only made 10 this round. But it honestly is pretty good. And I do look forward to making these tomorrow morning with our son. In the meantime, I don't know if any of you noticed, but I have this cute little pot holder that very appropriately has Honeycrisp right on the design here. I'm going to be selling these in my shop as well. So this is one of the newer items. I'm going to be launching these on my website, so I'll go ahead and include a direct link down below. I also have aprons that I had tested out with a crowd last year, and those were only toddler-sized aprons, so you'll see those debuted on our son. This year I'm also introducing adult-size aprons, that which I forgot to don for my video. I'll go ahead and include links to them, and then I'll go ahead and pop a picture here, and here, and here. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm very reachable by Instagram direct message or by email at info@spooky-stitches.com. You guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your baked goods and your loved ones. Bye.
Right. I thought you were baking.
I am. First I'm prepping the space.
Tomorrow?
Is there a problem? You want to fight?
It's pretty late.
Stop it. Stop it. I'm not doing this just because it's on camera. What is that taste that I'm tasting? Okay, store-bought is nothing. I get that these are coming from farms too, but this is something else. Holy, it's almost, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of a candy. Sorry for those of you that don't like mouth sounds. I'm not doing that intentionally, and I might just have to gift an apple or two to my friend that I'm visiting tomorrow. Get out. That is insane. That was so good. I'm so glad I have so much left over. Still eating apples. We will not waste one. By the way, these are not browning. Don't apples brown after a while leaving them out? I'm pretty sure they've been out for like 40 minutes. Look at this. That's delish. And I figured it out. The apple tastes like an apple Jolly Rancher to a T. I was not expecting this from an apple. That's good.